Welcome back to the final segment of Sun Devil Extra. This week's episode coming your way from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network. I'm Tim Healey, the radio voice of the Sun Devils. Delighted you joined us this week. As we continue our discussion of Sun Devil softball on this week's program, we're joined now by the young lady who not only led Arizona State, she led the Pac-12 Conference with her 19 home runs a season ago, making her only the third Sun Devil softball player ever to lead the Pac-12 in home runs and the first to do so since 2006. She also led the Sun Devils a year ago with her 35 RBIs and will provide much needed experience and leadership for this year's Arizona State softball team. We are delighted to welcome Jordyn VanHook to the show. Jordyn comes from Woodland Hills, California, and now she's in Tempe, Arizona. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
It's great to have you, although I have to admit I was a little nonplussed when you came into the room where we taped the show in a bit of a mobile or a walking boot. Tell us about, apparently you've got a little ding on your ankle. Tell us about your injury.
Yeah, just sprained my ankle. It happens. It's us athletes just being a little crazy. So, but yeah, we'll be back soon enough. So.
Well, it'll be good to get you back in the lineup after you had what clearly was a breakout season for you in 2023. You didn't really get a chance to play a whole lot your first couple of years at Arizona State, and yet last year when your name called, you were ready. Talk about the season you had and what you feel like were the big factors in your success a year ago.
Yeah, even though the season wasn't exactly how we all planned it out to be, I actually had just like a very free playing season, like in a very long time. I used that previous summer to just work my butt off with my dad and training super hard and hitting every day and fielding every day because I knew like what the expectation was coming back, and I knew like I wanted to just be better for myself in this coming up season. And I feel like that was just the freest I've ever played softball, and I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about the mindset that takes, because I would imagine if you've gone a couple of years, you've been in a program 3 years, you haven't gotten many opportunities to play, one could easily, I would think, get discouraged, and yet clearly you went the other way. What drove you to do that?
You know, just motivation. Like, I love this game. I will say that till the day I die. Like, I love playing softball, and I've loved it since I started. And, you know, yes, like throughout the time from freshman year to pretty much last season, like it was really hard. Like, you know, just being here, seeing all my friends playing, getting those opportunities, and like I know I could play at this level. And like I said, I just use that as motivation. And then having Coach B come on staff and Coach Jeremy and Coach Colitis, like they were all just such positive factors in my life, and just being that really good like support system. But you know, again, motivation and just knowing I love the game so much, I was like, I can't stop now, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned Coach Bartlett. We just spoke with Megan Bartlett in the segment prior to this. What are some of the things that she has brought to the program in her time here?
Just positivity and grit. Like, we work so hard every day in practice, and she just teaches us how to play the game like the right way. And also another thing is like she's basically our second mom. Like, a lot of us come from very far places, and even though I'm not that far, I'm like a 6-hour drive, but not seeing my mom every day and not having that kind of mom figure present every day, it's nice coming to the field and knowing that I can text Coach B and call her about anything, and just having her like be that support system for me, which is super nice. And she's like that for everyone. So just having that close connection with her, and her just being on us every day, but at the same time loving us. So I feel like that's like the really positive thing she's brought to this program, and I'm pretty sure everyone could say the same.
Now, she's not old enough to be like a mom. She's more like an older sister, right?
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
I thought I'd earned some points with her anyway, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Now, your decision to return to Arizona State for one final season, as Coach Bartlett said in her segment, you probably could have hit the transfer portal and gone to some of the premier programs in the country. What drove you, or what motivated you to come back here for one final go-around with the Sun Devils?
I just wasn't done. Like, I didn't want to come to the fact that softball was over at that point. And, you know, I got the chance to further my education and getting my master's. And having them pay for it and just furthering my education pretty much, which I never thought I was able really to do. So just using that, and like I said, I just wanted, like last season, just ending the way we did just didn't really sit right with me. And having conversations with Coach B and kind of just picking her brain with like who she wants to bring in, like the type of people and the type of program and the culture she wants to build. Like I was just really on board with that. And I was like, I can see myself ending my last year in this type of atmosphere. So that's really like the main drive of really why.
Well, I know she's thrilled you're back, as are all Sun Devil softball fans, and you're back with a whole lot of newcomers. How's everybody gelling? How's the clubhouse gelling? What kind of vibe is emanating from the clubhouse with the newcomers and the returners like you?
Really well. Like I've been a part of this program for 5 years now, and it's just so fun to come to practice in the field every single day. And I can genuinely say like we all really, really like each other. And you don't see that a lot in a lot of programs. Like we all text each other every day. Like a lot of us want to hang out outside of softball, and we come into the facility and we all just like greet each other, and just, I don't know, it's just the way we all kind of mesh with each other is so unique. And like I said, this kind of reminds me of the 2022 team that I was a part of when we won the Pac-12 championship. Like we just all really, really liked each other, and we were all close friends. And not saying like it's the same, but it's kind of the same. We all just really like each other. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for this team and seeing how we're going to kick off next week and for the final Pac-12 season. Like I'm really excited. This is a very special group, like Coach B mentioned.
How does it register with you, Jordyn, when you say those words, final Pac-12 season? You know,
That's
because
insane.
I've been dealing with it all year in all the different sports, and you know, we just had a basketball road trip last weekend to Oregon and Oregon State, and that may be the final time I'll ever be in Eugene and Corvallis, Oregon, and it's really kind of hard to get your head around this kind of stuff. How is it for you as a student athlete?
It's kind of crazy because, I mean, even though I never really, growing up in my softball time, I never really watched Arizona State. I'm from Woodland Hills, California. I'm 15 minutes down the road from UCLA, and I grew up going to UCLA softball games all the time with my dad, and it was just like such a fun atmosphere and so competitive, and it's sad to see it go, but you know, big and greater things are coming ahead with the Big 12 conference and the new competition and more traveling, like, you know, so it is sad for it to go, but just greater things ahead.
Do you see yourself as a leader on this year's team, being that you have the experience and the productivity on the field to back it up? And if so, what style of leadership do you exhibit, do you think?
I do, and I feel like also going back on the type of team we have a whole bunch of leadership on this team. We have Kelsey Hall. She's the type of person I would call a very vocal but gracious leader. Like, yes, she's new to our program, but she doesn't let that get in her way. Like, she knows what type of season she wants to have. She knows what like how she wants this team to succeed in the end, especially coming off of last season. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like the, hey, like type of
vocal leader.
Vocal type of person, but I am the type of person that if you need something and you just kind of want to go off in private and like talk and just very one-on-one type of person. But again, like I love all my teammates. I'm there for each and every one of them, no matter what the situation is. And I have been in this program for 5 years now. So, you know, just being there for all of them, just guiding them the way, like the do's, the don'ts, like what we do in this program, what we don't do in this program. So I feel like that's just kind of my like little background with them.
Well, part of your background, as you mentioned, you played for a Pac-12 champion here a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
What's your sense, your gut on this team in terms of potential?
We're really good. Like I said, we are very good. And comparison to 2022 team, we were very versatile. People could play different positions, and people stepped up when they needed to. And it's just very, very similar. So I know we'll make a good run. We'll make a good run in postseason, but first things first, like we need to go after Wisconsin.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
our first step. But like I said, we'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this team for sure.
Well, I want you to do one thing. Promise me you'll enjoy the heck out of this season as your last go around. Savor every moment, and here's hoping that you and your Sun Devil teammates have a season to remember in 2024. And thanks for visiting with us.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
That's Sun Devil softball star Jordyn VanHook, our guest on the final segment of this week's edition of Sun Devil Extra. With that, we bring down the curtain on this week's show. A couple of thank yous before we take our leave this week. Thanks to our executive producer. I hate to call him that, but technically he is, Arizona State Senior Associate Athletic Director Doug Tamaro. And thanks to our terrific engineer, producer / technical director, Sean Crespin of the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network for his help as well. We will be back next week with another edition of Sun Devil Extra, and we hope you'll make plans to join us. Till then, I'm Tim Healey. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody.